Stage one of the archaeological assessment of the Baptist Church burial ground in Niagara on the Lake is done. George Weber of the group Friends of the Forgotten is with us to explain what happens next. And George, before we get there, tell me a little bit about the background behind this piece of land.
Yeah, well, the land essentially was the adjoining property to a Baptist church that, for the most part, ended up being the place that most of the black residents of Niagara-on-the-Lake went to worship. Over the years, as things went on, the residents began to pass away. They were buried on site, and the population of the church really ground down. At some point,
so the church was taken down, and that burial ground stayed there.
Yeah, and the burial ground was there.
But there's really not a lot of evidence of exactly who was buried there, and that's part of the issue here.
Well, we have some evidence that would suggest that there were 15 people, 15 names we know we are pretty sure are buried on that site. There could be others. We really don't know that because there is also evidence that there are some 28 grave sites on there. So we're not too sure what's happening there, but we know about at least 15 names at this point.
What happened during the stage one archaeological assessment?
Well, the stage one archaeological assessment was really an academic or paper exercise. Let's take a look at the site. These are the things that we suspect are taking place with the site. We suspect that there are individuals buried there. We suspect that there is some archaeological evidence here that cause us to want to move forward. But remember, the stage one assessment hasn't been made public yet.
Right.
I'm just speculating as to what we think is in there, and it's going to be taken to council at the end of the month, and council, when they get it, they will then make it public.
Potentially, that stage one assessment would say, yes, it's worth digging, and that's what happens during stage two?
That's likely what's going to happen with stage two. Stage two is then going to say, okay, what is the archaeological evidence that we've got here? What should we do at this point? And we suspect that, at that point they might start digging the earth to try to reveal some headstones, try to see if there is any other archaeological value associated with the land.
I know there is just around the corner another site of historical importance for the black community, and that is the William and Susanna Stewart House. And that went through a stage one and a stage two, and they found nothing, so it didn't go to a stage three.
Right.
That could possibly happen with this as well.
Yeah, we suspect. I suspect it's going to be highly unlikely, but it wouldn't surprise me. And quite frankly, that'd be really nice because from a fundraising perspective, the more stages we go through, the more expensive it is along the way, and we have to fundraise at every step of the way.
You fundraised for this stage one. How much do you need to fundraise for a stage two if it's required?
Interesting question. If stage one is saying we need a stage two, ideally or likely we'll have to raise somewhere in the vicinity of $50,000+
Wow.
to get to.
Significantly higher than the stage one.
Significantly higher, 10 times more, quite frankly, yeah. And we need to have the money in the bank before the stage actually starts. So it's not like they say, okay, we trust you, go raise the money, we're gonna start the stage two, and then by the time we're done, you're gonna have the money. Doesn't quite work that way.
Right.
Money needs to be in the bank first before they start what they would do.
And your final vision for this piece of land, for this historic site, what is it?
Ultimately, we want to transform this piece of land into a site that those who come to visit can recognize and appreciate the contributions that enslaved or former slaves or free individuals and white individuals made to Niagara-on-the-Lake. We want to be able to take pride in it. We want people to be able to come in and reflect on that. We want the site to become a point of where people coming into town would feel like, yeah, we gotta go visit. We would like to go see what's happening there. We want it to be something other than just a barren, open piece of land with a couple of tombstones.
Great idea. George, thank you for popping in, and good luck with this project as it moves forward.
Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it.